Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Only Stupid Answers. This is a show where we answer your questions about movies, TV shows, comic books, Quantumanias, Ant-Man and the Wasp's Quantumanias, and so much more. And with us today, as always, is Miss Roxy Sarai. Hello, Roxy.
Hi, DJ.
Hello, thank you for joining us. And also, very special guest, Wendy. Tell the kids at home, who are you, where they can find you, what you're up to.
Oh, thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Wendy Lee Szany. I'm a content creator. I'm on YouTube. I'm on the TikTok sometimes. I'm on the Instagram, just talking about movies, TV shows, and having a grand old time.
Getting made fun of for laughing at Batman during trailers, apparently.
How dare I laugh
Yeah.
at Batman?
It's very serious, Wendy.
Yeah.
It's very serious.
No fun in talking about comic book movies ever.
No jokes. No, none of that. Oh my God, we're going to be talking about it. And I feel like our feelings about all of these things are going to be across the board, which is the fun of the show. That's the exciting part. But yes, we're going to be talking about the Flash trailer and the big game. Let's be clear, it's the big game. It's important to get that correct. We're not allowed to say anything else about it. No other terms. And we're going to be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is the latest MCU movie that dropped this weekend. But before we do that, a little bit of business, of course. If you want to hear this show early, ad-free, or even watch it live and chat with us in the comments, you can do that over at patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. Also, if you like comics, which I know many of you do, my latest comic, Hellbent Volume 3, the third and final volume of the Hellbent saga, is over at hellbentcomicbook.com. We're doing really good. We're well on our way to our second stretch goal. I would very much appreciate you supporting it and getting us to that second stretch goal. That would mean the world to me. So if you have not already contributed, you can do that by going to hellbentcomicbook.com. And if you've never supported Hellbent Comic before, you can get all 3 volumes. Ooh, you can read the whole story. I think it's 136 pages all told. It's pretty great. So check that out. And of course, if you're listening on Spotify, every week we ask you a question. Last week's question was, have you watched every season of The Flash? And if not, when did you stop watching? Anthony Spiezia, hope I got that right, says, I have fond memories of watching Arrow and Flash with people in my dorm during college. I have stuck with the show the whole time, but I think the show's quality declined most after COVID hit. Stormy Woods said, I stopped in season 2. Arrow was the only DC CW show I watched from start to finish. Yashu Wazalewski said, I stopped a season after Crisis, and then they announced the final season, so I decided to finish the job. So did Roxy and I think right now we're both kind of regretting it.
Oh, no.
Adrian Michael Esparza said, I used to love the Arrowverse and watch all the shows. The Flash was my favorite, but the quality really dipped. I stopped after the 7th season or whenever the pandemic hit. Wendy, were you a fan of the CW Flash show?
I really was into it, and I don't know what happened.
Uh-huh.
And I just I stopped watching it. I think it was when like an influx of all the other CW shows were coming up. Like I think it was when Supergirl started, airing.
Yeah.
And then so I was trying to watch that because I was like, oh, they're going to try to like blend the two, right? And I think I watched it up to like the musical episode. But I can't remember if that was Supergirl or The Flash.
I think that was a Flash episode. That was the musical episode. And I feel like that was a good time to leave because you left on a, pun intended, high note.
Hey.
I feel like to the person who said that it dipped after COVID, I think that that's what the Flash is hoping people remember. Like it wasn't us.
Yeah.
The pandemic.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Because really, I don't think that's what happened. I think it probably dipped long before that.
Yeah. The way I remember it is it started dipping after season 2 and it just kept going. It just kept going. It just kept going. It never had, because like Arrow had what was it, season I would say actually halfway through season 3 was really solid. 4 iffy, 5 good, 6 8 hey, we're back. It was up and down, and I was kind of hoping for maybe another, hey, Flash, we're going out on a high note, but they seem very dedicated to whatever stories they already had planned, whether those stories were any good or not. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a different Flash. Ooh, segue. God, the universe just gave me a blessing in that segue. Let's talk about the big game trailer of The Flash starring Ezra Miller and Michael Keaton. And wait, Wendy, you just said it. Is it Sasha Calle?
That's how I've been saying it.
That's somebody else pronounced it the same way.
It's difficult because like if we're saying if we're saying it properly, and if like in terms of if it's a Spanish name, then it would definitely be Calle. However, everybody keeps calling her Sasha Calle, and
it could be Sasha Calle.
And that might be a salmon situation. That might be a quesadillas situation, or it might be, a new. Who knows? I think we're safe with Sasha.
Listen, we're safe. We're safe with Sasha.
Yes.
That's coming soon to the CW. Safe with Sasha.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Flash, big game trailer. Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton. This was my impression of the events right up until this trailer. All the discourse was, Ezra Miller, all the crimes they be committing. Oh no, not sure. We Flash. Then the trailer hit, and all of that just evaporated. It wasn't even acknowledged. It was just like, no, this is great. Everybody be excited for this movie. And it's like, oh wow, all right, we're really.
No,
Warner Brothers made a gamble that we wouldn't care about all the crimes once we saw Michael Keaton say, I am Batman, and they were correct. So that was a correct assumption on their part.
DJ, is so unfair. That is not an accurate assessment of what happened. What you are correct about is that the majority of people really liked this trailer. People were really riding for this trailer. But I think that most of first of all, some people and people who aren't on the coast, people who don't pay attention to the news, still have no idea that Ezra Miller is problematic. Like literally zero idea.
Yeah.
And I hope they get to stay in that bubble, because you guys enjoy yourself, bury your heads in the sand, and just you guys aren't the ones listening to this show, so I'm really not speaking to you right now anyway.
Because if you've been listening to this show, we've told you about it.
Yes. The majority of the people that know about the Ezra situation, and I feel even disrespectful calling it a situation, because we know we're talking about assaults, arrests, groomings, burglaries. It's not just a situation.
Pause real quick, because there apparently is a contingent that has gone out of their way to frame it as if Ezra Miller has been framed specifically.
Right. Yeah, I've been seeing that.
Yeah, the Ku Klux Klan, I think, for that comment they made. Sorry, I apologize. The comment they made, which is weird. Yeah. Because I don't.
Know what you did.
Yeah.
Which
to me, that was a sign of their instability. But also, listen, we have a very big problem in this country with racism. I don't know that the Klan has the pull that these people think they do. But maybe that's me living in a dream world. I don't know.
Totally, but I've seen what you're talking about. But to that I say there are people who believe the earth is flat and that the Holocaust didn't happen. There's never gonna, am I shocked that people think that Ezra's being framed? Of course not. I live in this country. I live on this planet, so I've met these people before. But I think that most of the people who watch this, who liked the trailer and who are aware of the Ezra situation, probably felt similar to me, which was, ooh, bummer. That was so good.
Wait, one second. I'm going to get confirmation. Monica, my wife is here. Monica, how would you pronounce this last name? Kaye. Okay, that's going to be our definitive answer to the question. My way, it's Sasha Kaye. In this house, it's Sasha Kaye.
In this house.
Sorry, finish your thought, Roxy.
Even if Sasha says it's Kali, it's Kaye.
And she's here, and she's in this house.
Totally. Because I see what you're saying, DJ, that a lot of the posts were saying really positive things.
Yeah.
But most of the people that I was speaking to, because it is hard to express yourself in 200 characters on Twitter, most people we were speaking to were like, this is so gross and weird. That trailer was great. If I am separating the art from the artist, that art looks dope. If I'm not, it's such a bummer that Ezra's the star of this movie. Yeah. So I don't think that people like you said, it's gone, it's forgotten, it's out the window. But I did the entire time, as did you, DJ, know that the majority of people don't give a shit about somebody's personal life.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers for sure was hedging their bets here. And yes, they're absolutely going to come out on top if this movie is stellar. This movie could be a top grossing movie of all time. I mean, and that's how little people care about the fact that Ezra is on trial for 26 years right now.
Wendy, what were your thoughts on the trailer? How did the trailer make you feel?
Conflicted, to sum it up in one word, because I want to champion for all the people who worked really hard on this movie that took forever and a day and keeps getting pushed back, and watching this thing that they worked so hard on, whether they're a PA or they're on the creative side, to keep getting pushed back and to have all these issues surrounding its lead actor. So I was like, well, I mean, my thought going into it was, the DCU is resetting anyways, right? So like this is most likely the last time we're going to see them as the Flash. That was kind of my thought going in. I was like, let's just check out this trailer and let's see if Michael Keaton's going to be in it. That was my thought. So I got what I wanted, but at the same time, I can acknowledge that the lead actor is very problematic. And I've also had people, DM and comment, on my video. They're like, yeah, it looks great, but all the gross things that they've done, I'm like, yep, can't deny that. It's all in the news. So it's like, I want to be excited because it was such a good looking trailer, but then I feel not so great liking the trailer at the same time. Does that make sense?
Well, then I think I might be in a better place than both of you, because while obviously it is almost impossible to separate, like to think about how would I feel if I didn't have the issues I have with Ezra Miller. But if I were to, I still think the trailer would look kind of stupid. I don't know whether it's because I'm not super nostalgic for Batman 89 or Man of Steel. But I remember having conversations with you, Roxy, about when Justice League came out. And I want to say that I was more on board within the context of Justice League, Ezra Miller's performance as Barry. But I think now I can admit to myself that Ezra Miller never would have been my first choice as Barry. And I think they make a lot of decisions based on what I see in the trailer that I'm like, I don't know that I care about this. And I don't know, based off the information we're given, that the movie makes any fucking sense. I don't know, like, okay, so what we're led to believe is Barry goes back to save his mom, Flashpoint, which, by the way, is not that great an event comic. I know it's the only Flash story everybody knows, but also it's not that good. But
it's like the Batman origin story.
Yeah, it's like, it's not, and that's the weird. Anyway, we don't need to get on my feelings about Flashpoint. Just know that I think it's fine. But one other point, Flashpoint was never intended to be what it's become. It was an excuse to get to the New 52 reboot. It was not like, this is a story I feel needs telling. It was, well, let's have a story to reset everything, which is kind of what it's become anyway. So I guess it's true to the original event. But so he goes back. Barry's a he. Barry goes back. Sorry, for clarity for those just tuning in, Ezra Miller goes by them. They them pronouns. Barry Allen, I don't believe the character in the movies does.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I have a hard time with that too, DJ, because I don't know. Like when we're talking about Barry Allen, do we use he, him pronouns still when specifically referring to Ezra Miller's portrayal of Barry Allen?
Let's play it safe. Let's do they, thems. And if I trip up, know that it's not me being like, well, I don't respect Ezra Miller's because they're a criminal. It's not that. It's that I'm stupid and I trip over my words, even though I talk for a living. So
yes, we respect that they are a living piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that. So I trip up. I do genuinely apologize. So they go back and they create a universe in saving their mom where there's no metahumans. And so Zod, Michael Shannon coming back as Zod. And Michael Shannon's great, by the way, as just, for the first Flash movie ever. I don't know that Zod was my top pick as the villain, but sure. Okay.
But in the scheme of this universe, DJ, does that not make sense to you?
Sure. Except it makes me revisit Man of Steel, which is a movie I don't like.
I don't like that movie either, but we're in the minority.
Yeah. So anyway, we're getting, listen, I like Michael Shannon, so that's fine. So,
remember when Michael Shannon got stuck in the porta potty with his flippers on, and that was the biggest story to come out of that set?
No, I don't remember that.
Wait.
I don't remember.
He was on set and he had his flippers on his feet for his costume, and he got stuck in the porta potty for like hours.
Man, I feel like Michael Shannon has had nothing but negative things to say about that experience, and so it's shocking to me that he keeps coming back. Like he's like, all right, fine.
I remember he was like, those fucking flippers, they ought me there.
So
they were walking all over the porta potty.
All right, so Barry makes it so there's no metahumans, and then also somehow Michael Keaton's Batman's there. It's like, I don't know what this is supposed to mean, and I don't know. And the Michael Keaton of the trailer reminded me of Ghostbusters Afterlife, where it's like, hey, this doesn't feel like that movie. This doesn't look like that movie. But the guy's here, so that's cool, right? And it's like, yeah, I guess. Like, is that what nostalgia is now? It's just somebody, it's just a movie going like, hey, remember, this was cool. Sure.
Like, DJ, is it possible?
Yeah.
I really want you to answer this because DJ talks trash.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just assess this. Is it possible you went into this trailer knowing you weren't going to like this trailer? Like, is it possible that you were like, I'm not going to like this trailer, and then you watched it and you were like, yeah?
No, I think it was possible that I would have mixed feelings. I don't know. I think it's a well-made trailer. I think it does a good job. I just don't. You know me, Roxy. You've known me for a long time. I don't give a shit about nostalgia. Saying, hey, remember this thing? Cool. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to like, you know what I mean? Like something I'll give. I think Spider-Man No Way Home has its flaws, but I think something it did really well is it incorporated specifically the OG Spider-Man in a way that elevated Tom Holland's story and elevated that story. Like it worked within that universe. You know what I mean? It worked within the story they were telling, and I think did the best of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. They could do that with this. I do think it's important. I think like, what do we see Michael Keaton do in this movie? We see him say, I am Batman, and then we see him do a bunch of CG kung fu that's not a part of the texture or world of Batman 89. So what am I supposed to attach to here? Is it just supposed to be cool to see Michael Keaton back in a version of his costume? I don't know.
Well, do you think that but based on this trailer, and I'm curious if Wendy got this from the trailer also, based on this trailer, I feel like it did have No Way Home vibes where Michael Keaton is going to elevate the Barry Allen storyline, because it's not just Ben Affleck who is his mentor, kind of the Robert Downey Jr. to the Tom Holland in this, but like, we need more help. And maybe we stumble upon that help, but I think at the end of the day, Michael Keaton is there to elevate and support the main Barry Allen. When I say the main Barry Allen, the part that there's two of them, I don't know that he's interacting with both of them, but one of the two of the Barry Allens at least. I mean, Wendy, did you pick that up, or are you thinking the same as DJ kind of on this?
No, I think I'm more on like your line of things, because I feel like things got really screwed up and they need the help, and who else to go for advice than the man that's literally done it all and seen it all? And that would be the Michael Keaton Batman. He's also like the most senior out of I don't know, how many Batmans are we getting in this? Like, I saw Batfleck. We all saw Keaton. I'm not sure if now with how like the DCU is going to work, are we getting Pattinson as well? Because that's technically Elseworld according to the new thing.
Yeah.
So when a lot of
people are also talking about George Clooney, which I think that would be like just hysterically insane and not just, there's no way.
Yeah.
But also I'd be rooting for that so hard for the exact opposite reason of why DJ would be rooting against that.
So wait, but when you say they go to the person that would know the best, how does that equal Michael Keaton's Batman? Are we saying a universe without metahumans is the Tim Burton Batman 89 universe? And how does that work?
Well, I didn't say they go to him. I said they stumble upon him and then he's helpful. Okay. I don't think that they like on purpose sought out him. Michael Keaton.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're dealing with Flashpoint, so they're probably going to use that time jump thing to their benefit for writing purposes. Mm-hmm. So we don't even know if this exists in the other Barry Allen's timeline, or if they jump to a whole nother one at all. Because if we're talking the world without metahuman, then how do we explain then like Supergirl? and all of the other stuff. So I think we're gonna see several different timelines and universes or whatever it may be.
Yeah, so I think that what would have made that cool then is then give me one more. If we're pulling people from multiverses, we've got Supergirl.
Well, you don't know. We don't have one more.
Who do you want to see?
I want to see Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
Oh my god!
I want to see Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. Own it. Own it.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Own it.
I honestly would not be mad at that.
But he gets a real suit this time.
Yeah, imagine if Ant-Man's first movie or what was No Way Home. Like what if, like, I don't know. It feels like I don't think the DCU has earned the goodwill to make me interested in this movie.
You think the Flash is the equivalent to DC as Ant-Man is to Marvel?
Listen, yeah, because Ant-Man used time travel to save the Avengers. Yes, Roxy, I do think Ant-Man is the equivalent.
No,
also, I think Paul Rudd would make a better Barry Allen.
Paul Rudd is Barry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
Yeah, well.
Wow, DJ, you and I are on. This is the page that you're on today, and here's the book I'm in.
Yeah,
like we aren't even reading from the same book.
Just you wait till we talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Just you wait. All righty. Well, listen. Okay, before we leave, do you think? We'll start with you, Wendy. Do you think the Flash, independent of the Ezra of it all, do you think the Flash movie will be good?
It's gonna be fine.
Okay. All right.
Independent of the Ezra Miller stuff.
Roxy, Flash movie.
Yeah, I think the movie's gonna be amazing.
Okay.
I think the movie's gonna be like exceptionally good. I think it's gonna be probably the best movie in the DCEU. I know that the E part doesn't exist anymore, but I'm just talking about the previous movies. My favorite being Wonder Woman so far, but I think it will be better than Aquaman. I think it's going to be better than Man of Steel. I think it's going to be better than BVS, better than Justice League, better than whatever it is. I think that Flash is going to be the best movie.
To your point, I think there might be something there, Roxy, because to your point, other than Wonder Woman, all the movies you just listed off are bad. But so
hey, you like Aquaman?
I do like Aquaman, and I do like The Suicide Squad, and I like Wonder Woman, the first one.
And you like Birds of Prey.
And I do like Birds of Prey. I do like Birds of Prey. I like those four. Will this be better than those? I do like Shazam. For some reason, like the new Shazam 2 trailers have really like, oh man, did I like Shazam? And I don't know why. I don't know if it's all the Zachary Levi's been talking about, but I don't, I just, for some reason, or it's just the trailers. I don't know. But I did like the first Shazam. So I don't know. I'm very excited for James Gunn to reboot everything. Anyway, let's go on to a quick ad break. Let's go on to a quick ad break. And we'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let's talk about the new movie this week. Sorry, everybody. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That's what we're talking about. Directed by Peyton Reed. Written by Jeff Loveness, who's also writing Kang Dynasty, which is an in my opinion. Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne, along with Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, explore the quantum realm where they interact with strange creatures and embark on an adventure that goes beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. As of this recording, I actually did this note yesterday, so I don't know if it's changed. But as of this recording, let me bring it up on Rotten Tomatoes. Ant-Man and the Wasp has a 48% tomato meter score and an audience score of 84%. Ooh, it's just a reverse of the numbers. Nice.
Oh, look at that.
And the critics' consensus is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania mostly lacks the spark of fun that elevated earlier adventures, but Jonathan Majors Kang is a thrilling villain poised to alter the course of the MCU. I don't know that I agree with any of that. Anyway, spoiler-free, starting with spoiler-free. General thoughts. Wendy, spoiler-free, just your overall thoughts on the movie.
It was a lot of fun. And I think it was really good to finally explore the quantum realm, because for the longest time, as an audience member and as just like a fan of Marvel movies, I've been so curious about what the heck does it look like in there? And is it like barren, or is it scary, or whatever it is? So how like vibrant and cool it was, I really liked. And I really liked that this was a good I know it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it felt like a mini ensemble movie. It was like Ant-Man and family. Yeah. So I enjoyed a lot of the relationships there. And obviously, Jonathan Majors is just such a treat to watch in anything he does, in my opinion. I love him as Kang, and I can't wait to see him in future MCU projects.
Roxy, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which, by the way, didn't realize till the end credits, they snuck a little Ant-Man and a little Ant-Man exists in Quantumania. Did y'all catch that when Quantumania comes at the end? It's Ant-Man,
no.
Ant-Man Mania.
Oh, cute. I didn't catch that.
Yep.
Quantumania.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, in Boston, Ant-Man, Quantumania.
Yeah, if the people at home don't know, so it's Quant, Ant, U-M-A-N, Man, Ania. So
that's cute.
Fun.
That's really good. Wow, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Wait, how did you notice that? Because when they like color it differently?
Yeah, when the credits come up with Ant, and it's like Ant-Man, and then the rest of Quantumania comes in to fill it out.
Okay, so as of this recording, Ant-Man, Quantumania has a 48% on the tomato meter.
Yeah.
And that is like disgusting to me. I thought this movie was like not just good, but great.
Ooh.
I thought it was excellent. I was like disturbed by the screening that I was in with how much I was the only one riding for this film. Like you could hear a pin drop in the theater. You could feel the air sucked out of the room. All of the critics in there, and this isn't about DJ. I love DJ so much.
I think we were in different theaters. We were in different theaters.
Okay. And their stuffiness of like, you could just tell that the critics turned on this movie about 30 minutes in. They turned so hard, and I was shocked because usually when I like a movie other people don't like, I'm confused. I mean, no, sorry. Usually I'm not confused. Usually I'm like, I liked this. I see why you didn't. This to me was like still very Marvel formulaic.
Yeah.
Still had all of the elements that people like about Ant-Man. Really minimized the usage of Evangeline Lilly, which I know people were nervous about, especially, like, for lack of better words, woke or critic screening or whatever. Like there wasn't that issue of it all. Heavily featured Michelle Pfeiffer, who like just wiped the floor with everybody she annihilated. Yeah. And when I felt the energy shifting in the room and people starting to hate it, I was like, what's not to like? I feel like Joey in the episode of Friends where he's like, meat good, pepper's good, frosting good. Like it was all so good for me. I thought the movie was fucking excellent and looked amazing, was amazing, plot was amazing, visuals were trippy dippy. My little stoner loving heart was like beating so hard. The performances, A++, Catherine Newton, Jonathan Majors, again, Michelle frickin' Pfeiffer, Paul Rudd, my Jewish zaddy forever. I love him. Like, just everybody bringing the heat. There was like a couple of characters that I was like, I don't know if that was necessary. The MODOK stuff worked for me beyond well, which apparently I'm the only one. I just loved this movie.
Listen, Roxy, I love your love. And maybe on this journey, I can help you give some context why other people maybe didn't like it so much. I think, listen, Paul Rudd is great. He's endearing. He's good in everything. Having him as a lead you're going to have a solid movie right off the top. I thought they did a good job of making the quantum realm feel unique from something like Guardians. How stuff worked in that universe was different. I do have logistical questions, but that's for spoilers. I think I also liked the Michelle Pfeiffer of it all. I got the distinct impression that nobody in that movie likes working with Evangeline Lilly because it is called Ant-Man and the Wasp. And the Ant-Man is Paul Rudd, but the Wasp in this movie is clearly Michelle Pfeiffer. She is the Wasp of the Wasp. And honestly, great choice. She's great. And also, she can still get it. God damn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she is like the most beautiful person.
Oh my God.
I know. I couldn't believe that, DJ. She is literally she's not only the hottest she's ever been, but she is maybe the hottest person on the planet.
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought most people were fine. I think I think Jonathan Majors could be really good as Kang. There's moments in this movie where he's really good as Kang. There's other moments I didn't feel that as much, similar to the way I didn't really feel it in He Who Remains in Loki. I think maybe we'll get into it later. I feel like we're seeing the edges. I really think they should have cast Jonathan Majors as a good guy. I think he nailed Lovecraft Country. I think he's pretty good. I think he's mostly really good in Devotion. Just the Kang, I don't know. We'll get into more later. I think MODOK is both the best and worst part of the movie. He looks horrifying, but he gets my hands down favorite moment of the movie is a MODOK moment. Just thinking about it makes me smile. But I also think the movie just completely fails on a storytelling level. It's just not good. It just doesn't. It doesn't accomplish anything. It's just not good. But I can't get into that without getting into spoilers. So those are spoiler-free thoughts. What I'm getting from the room is, to sum it up for the kids at home, Roxy like, Wendy, okay, DJ, I do think. I agree with the Rotten Tomatoes score, other than the fact that it is lower than Thor: Love and Thunder. So I think what I'm trying to say is Thor: Love and Thunder should have a lower score than this.
What's their score?
It's like 70 something, which that's not
Thor: Love
right.
and Thunder. Oh, okay.
That's not
you
correct.
Think 48? You really think 48 is good, DJ, for this? Like, you feel like that's accurate?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. The audience score is 84, and that is dead on. I'm the audience, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the audience.
Well, listen, for those that have not watched Ant-Man yet, please leave now, because we're going to get into full spoilers right now. We got to, everybody. We got to really dive into this thing. So spoilers. They're happening now. Turn away. No going back. Whatever, however you want to phrase it. Spoilers are happening now. And I think a good place to jump off on is MODOK, because I think I've wondered for a long time, people pushed very hard for comic book accuracy. And I've wondered, like, what's the limit of comic book? What's one of the things you could do that's accurate to the comics that you're like, ooh, bad, don't do that. And it turns out it's MODOK. MODOK is the answer to that question, because the second the little faceplate goes up, you're like, what the fuck? What are we doing? Why was this the choice we made? But then...
What?
Yeah.
Am I the only one? Wendy,
yes.
please help. Wendy. Am I the only one who liked MODOK? I'm the only one?
You are not the only one that liked MODOK, but I didn't like MODOK.
See, you're the only one in this conversation that liked MODOK.
But you are not the only one that
guys,
liked
MODOK's the
MODOK.
Best thing that ever happened to the MCU.
With what DJ said, though,
exactly
what you said about MODOK is how I felt, because there's so many good moments that I literally
Corey Stoll was
like
great.
Cracking up.
Yeah, Corey Stoll is awesome.
He's
amazing.
Yeah.
And the arc of MODOK.
Okay.
How are we going to arc that? He
is one thing. This is how this movie functions. Things go one way until the movie needs them to go another way, and then they go another way. It's not.
Isn't that life?
Well, no, but see, I think okay. So for example, like you want to set out your characters in one place, and through a series of events, you grow them to another place. So, for example, you start off the movie saying Cassie wants to help people. Paul Rudd, Scott, that's the character's name, is like, hey. Maybe don't do that for reasons that the movie never really clarifies. One assumes he wants to protect his daughter. Maybe that's the reasoning. We never really get into it.
Oh my God, DJ, you're going to nitpick that he doesn't want his daughter in jail.
And the way we resolve this
he doesn't want his daughter in jail.
The way this arc resolves itself is, yeah, Dad, I have a suit. Cool. The end. That is the ultimate growth.
No, they dropped it like. Wait, they dropped it like 5 times that she had the suit.
I know.
She'd been working on.
And that's the result. We don't see Scott change his opinion. We don't see the events that lead him to think maybe it is good for my daughter. It's just, it's okay now, and we move on.
But she's thrusted into something where she needs to be safe, and so that's why he's like uppercut, punch, flop, like jump.
Which, by the way, this gets to one of my points. Remember in the first movie where we say they need the helmets when they shrink to breathe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder what happened to that.
Not anymore.
Also,
advanced
technology. Technology is changing, DJ.
Wait. So how does that mean you can shrink to a whole nother dimension and pop your? We have to worry about that on other planets. So I guess the quantum realm just has oxygen, tiny oxygen, tiny.
Yes, DJ. They have a fucking bug that if you drink him, you can understand
Michelle
all
Pfeiffer
languages.
Survived in the quantum realm for years.
Yeah. Also,
yes.
Remember where we established that Ant-Man first movie, Ant-Man shrinks. But his density stays the same. So that's why he's able to hit people hard.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So I guess not anymore.
Why is that confusing to you?
Because of what you just said, Roxy, about now he has to grow to hit people.
No, he doesn't have to grow to hit people, but that's when. Do you think that it's the same thing, even if your density, if you're getting hit by a little thing versus a big thing, it makes a bigger impact? He's just explaining how to do it best.
That's what the first movie established.
Let me tell you guys something. I didn't have a single question about this movie.
Okay. That's great.
It was like completely linear for me, which is crazy because I feel like of all the movies, usually I'm like, that was a little convoluted or what was happening here? And people were like, it made perfect sense. This movie, I don't know whether because did I write this movie? Because I understood every word.
Yeah.
I was like, this makes 100% sense. You're speaking my language.
Let's circle back real quick. Wendy, your thought. You were saying your thoughts on MODOK. You were saying your thoughts on MODOK.
First of all, before I jump back into MODOK, Roxy, I wish I was you. I wish I could view this movie through the lens that you do because that brings me so much joy. Like I love so much that you enjoyed it. I don't agree with that 48%. I gave it a tomato.
Yeah.
I thought the lowest I would see was like 70s. Mm-hmm. I really, really thought that.
Especially based on the
low.
Especially based on the fact that Love and Thunder has a 70. If that's the gauge, if that's the like
it's not top tier Marvel, but dang, it is not 48%. Okay, anyways, back to MODOK.
Yeah.
I think where I became my own worst enemy when it came to viewing this film, and I talked about this in my review, is that I did the thing where I tell people to not do, which is to get inside my own headcanon and hold on too hard to like certain things and like kind of fault it for not being exactly comic accurate. Mm-hmm. So the MODOK that I was expecting to see, and because we've also had like the Hulu iteration of MODOK, I was trying to figure out how they were going to loop it in together with it. With the character design, when the mask was on, I actually really liked it. Like like MODOK is supposed to look freaking ridiculous. Yeah, like he's always looked like that. My issue was, I think the back and forth with the mask was a little too much, and I get it. You hired Corey Stoll, you need to see his face. Mm-hmm.
His big.
I get it.
Big, but weirdly CG'd face. Like a lot of the effects are up and down in this movie.
It just took away, I feel like, from what he turned into, which is MODOK, which like if you're a comic book, reader, you would have an inkling of like MODOK and some of the characteristics. And I think also to kind of blend that in with a little bit of Darren. Darren should have so much hate for what happened to him that I feel so conflicted about that, like, you're a dick, don't be a dick moment, that I like both loved it and didn't love it at the same time.
Listen, Wendy, I totally feel you, because as somebody that wants MODOK to exist in the MCU, I don't like the idea that they maybe shut that door. That said, the only part of the movie that gave me genuine joy is when MODOK was like, I decided not to be a dick. And they're like, oh, that's great, man. He's like, at least I died an Avenger. Oh, okay.
It was so good.
That's the only moment when I think about it, I laugh. I'm like, that's fucking funny. That's a funny moment.
Okay, let's just harp on this for a minute, because it might be the only thing that all three of us agree on.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk about what we disagree on. Yeah. But the moment when he says, at least I die an Avenger.
With his little
hand.
And
you see everyone's faces and like, do we tell him? And then it's like, no, we obviously don't tell him. Yeah. Like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. That it's just like such a true character trait of some people, thinking that like you are evil, you're for so long, you do one good thing and you're like, okay, I've made it into the pearly gates. And it's like, sure. Yeah. But the part that like, I feel zero confliction about at all is that I think that the best lesson in any movie ever is you don't have to be a dick. Mm-hmm. In life, you don't have to be a dick. Now, if I'm being 1000% fair to your guys' opinion on this, I see And I see how it could look like he's a dick, he's a dick, he's a dick, he's a dick, he's a dick. He's never thought about not being a dick. One young woman says to him one time, you could not be a dick. And he's like, wow, never thought about that. I'm just not going to be a dick.
Yeah.
I see where you could say convenience sake.
Yeah.
But for me, I do feel like that's realistic in life, that like sometimes it takes one event for somebody to be shaken, to be like, wait a second, I've snapped. Yeah. This is it. I'm not going to be treated like this anymore.
Listen,
I don't have to be a dick. And that was such a beautiful lesson, like to every person out there right now, because there's just so many dicks out there. Yeah. You don't have to be a dick. You could just decide, I'm not going to be a dick. I'm going to be a good guy. I'm going to fight with the good people.
Listen, Roxy, don't misunderstand. I'm not even mad at that part because, again, it leads to my favorite joke. It's my favorite. I think what stands out to me more, and this was the moment I really knew the movie lost me, was when Kang finally confronts Scott, and he's like, all right, I need you to do a heist because you're good at heists. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what's the heist? You jump down here and you grab a thing. And I'm like, well, that's not a... There's normally more moving pieces to a heist, but sure. And so then he gets down there, and all the little Scots start popping out. This is cool with me. I like quantum, whatever we're doing here. I'm into this shit. Stuff. Yeah, probabilities, cool. I think what a more competent script, and I have a feeling that if I talked to Jeff Loveness, he'd be like, yeah, man, I know. I did what they told me to do. Normally, I think a more competent script would have used this as an opportunity if you'd seeded out whatever Scott's internal conflict is earlier, that this would tie up with that. So something along the lines of, is Scott dealing with who he is now post-Endgame? What is his identity? Then all of these versions of Scott serve that function to literalize that internal conflict. Him overcoming this is him coming to the next stage of who he is as a character. That's not what we're doing. It's just a bunch of Scotts. And then some of them grow big, and when they get close to the singularity or whatever the thing they're trying to grab is, they die. And then a bunch of them join together and get close to it.
Well, because
and don't
they all want
die.
the same thing.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is, so it's like, okay, so when some of them get close, they die, but then we join up and we don't die. And then Wasp, who's trying to prevent him from doing that, decides to help him for reasons. And that's the whole movie. It's like we're doing something. Kang shows infinite godlike abilities to move people with his mind. And it's like, oh my God, how are we supposed to stop this guy? It's like, oh, because for some reason near the end, he's going to decide to fist fight them for some reason and not use any of these abilities because the movie's about ready to wrap up. And if he used these abilities, Ant-Man wouldn't win.
DJ, that's not fair.
How is that not fair, Roxy?
It's not fair, DJ.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the, first of all, like Michelle Pfeiffer's Wasp doesn't know. Also, I always feel weird saying the word wasp. Isn't that like a weird slang term?
Oh, I think you're thinking about wasp, which is white Anglo-Saxon something. But you know,
yeah. Anyway, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Wasp. She is. She doesn't know what's happening with Kang until she touches the
throne
ball.
Yeah, in the past.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
What do we call that?
Yeah.
And he does have the ability to affect people, but his power is not, you're sitting there, I'm sitting here, I can get you to feel anything I want you to. That's we don't see that at all.
No, but I'm talking about he can literally levitate people with his mind. Like he can basically force push people and make them stop. And he keeps threatening that he can rewind time, which is an ability he never uses in the movie.
Is it beyond but in this movie, we need that for future movies.
No, I know, but he literally threatens Scott, I will make you go back in time and watch you kill your daughter, which, by the way, what they should have done is have him kill Cassie, rewind it so she's back, and then Scott's like, oh, yes, now I will help you because I literally saw my daughter die. That would be a more effective...
I don't think he can change it. I think he can just show it.
Maybe.
So that's why I think they didn't do that. I just think it'd
be a more effective moment.
Do you think it's beyond the realm of possibility? Could it be that the more you fight the more tired you are, the less you have access to your abilities.
Well, I think then it's the screenwriter's responsibility to let you know because again, this is another thing that's important. What makes something like this dynamic is what the heroes are trying to accomplish, what the villain's packing, and so then the conflict is, how are we going to overcome that? It's not they have these abilities, and then we do stuff until he just doesn't use them, and then we win. And also, a big part of the last moment is they grow big. I don't know what that means in the context of the fact that you're very, very tiny. They treat him going big as if it's normally when he goes big, except for the fact they're in the quantum realm, so they're very, very tiny. They're actually not being big and small. And also, they needed the big technology to get out of the quantum realm, and we show that they have that. So why are they stuck in the quantum realm? And we also see in the flashback that Michelle Pfeiffer has Pym particles. She could have just gotten out of the quantum realm. She had the technology to just do that. Anyway, also Cassie, when she's in prison, we see that she has Pym particles, and she could have used those to escape at any time, and she only does it when it's like plot convenient. Sorry. Wendy, the one thing everybody seems to agree on, except me, I think John Majors is great. I just think his Kang, sometimes it's very threatening. Sometimes it sounds like a little kid trying to on his big boy voice. Wendy, thoughts on Kang? Kang is the one everybody's talking about. What are your thoughts on Kang?
I liked Kang. I do see your point where it felt like he kind of pendulumed back and forth between this like really threatening presence to being I was kind of like, why are you holding back, man? You are Kang. Like, I did feel that a little bit, but I also know that this is literally his very first introduction to us. And if we learned anything from Loki season 1, I think we know that there are going to be multiple Kangs, and so I was watching to see where they were developing it, and coming to the end of the movie, I kind of go, okay, this is just an introduction of what kind of threat this guy can bring to not just like what we're talking about, 616.
According to Feige, the movie ones are 616. Yes.
Okay. Like there's going to be so many other possibilities, and it's about to get big and grand and crazy, and we need to start at just an introductory point of all of this before we start tacking on like this Kang and that Kang and the council and this and that. So I really did like it. What I think really liked was at the end when they were kind of getting really physical with each other, and Kang getting real desperate to be like, if I don't get out now, I'm not gonna. Like, I enjoy that because I felt like that's when he was probably the most ruthless, because he got so desperate, but he was always really threatening to me.
Yeah.
Also
questions about He Who Remains said he got rid of all the Kangs, and this Kang's goal was also to get rid of all the Kangs. So anyway, whatever, questions there. Roxy, thoughts on Kang?
I think Jonathan Majors is a fucking stud. Obviously, everyone thinks he's a stud. He's super talented, and he's just a great actor and studly. That being said, the 2 post-credit scenes were both like, to me, everybody was like talking about those afterwards. Like, you have to stay for the 2 post-credit scenes. This is the only part of the movie, if you call it as part of the movie, a post-credit scene, that I was like, I don't actually know if I understand what just happened. Like when we see all the Kangs, and we have the knowledge that Kang said, if I don't get out, you all die. And then all of the Kangs are there, and they had exiled him and all that. I was like, I get there's a lot of you. I get you all have slightly different motivation against the council.
One of you has a snake voice for whatever reason.
Yeah, which I kind of was like, talk dirty to me, snake voice Kang. Let's go. But I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait to see what happens there, because I don't know that I know what's gonna happen. But what I loved is, because we did get that line about, if I don't get out, you're all going to die. You don't understand. There was one of the most relatable movies of the whole moments of the whole movie is that Paul Rudd moment at the end of the movie, going through his day. And then this happens to all of us, obviously for different reasons than this, but going through your day and you're like, wait, what the fuck does that mean? Is that going to be a big problem in my life? Probably going to be a big problem. No, it'll be fine. No, wait. There's that intrusive thought again. Yeah. Really think that's going to be an issue? Sack up. Let's just keep eating cake. Like, that was the way they shot that. I was just like, I feel this in my soul so much. That is my day where all of a sudden you're like, oh, did I flip my laundry? I didn't. That's I'm gonna have to run that again. Like, and for very different reasons than him being like, is the whole world gonna be gone? But I was like, wow, the way that they depicted that was so cool. And made me question, like, what did Kang mean by that? What is happening here? And I don't think I have to understand the Kang of it all yet, because that will be explained. I don't know if they know the Kang of it all yet. I think that they were like, well, I hope they do,
because they're building an entire multiverse saga on this
definitely
thing.
Definitely. I just don't know if they know the full extent of all of those Kangs, like which, like, who, the whole extent. I think they know they're going Kang, but I don't know if they know like who goes where for what. They know the next couple of movies, but just like the whole thing, I'm not sure that they fully know, and I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people won't be, including DJ.
Yeah, I do. Yes, this is a great segue into the post-credit scenes. Although, real quick, you made me think of one of my other least favorite moments in the movie, where Kang has Scott Lang, and he's like, "Wait, which Avenger are you? Are you the one with the hammer?" And he's like, "No, that's Thor." And he's like, "Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm going to give you more time, which is what you want." And it's like, "Well, time out. If you don't know who he is, how do you know what he wants?" And then he's like, "Come with me, Ant-Man." Hold on. Do you know who he is? Like, what the fuck? And what's going on here? But let's go into the post-credit scenes, because we get to see the Council of Kangs. And this was another moment where I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if pinning everything on Jonathan Majors Kang is the right call. We might have moved too quick on this one. I don't know if this is going to work, because, again, I think Jonathan Majors works really well in a very specific lane. And I don't know, the further we get out of that lane, how effective I think it is. I'm in the minority, apparently. Think he's very talented. Thought he was excellent in Lovecraft Country. Thought he was really good in Devotion. And I thought in certain scenes he was really good here. Just other ones wasn't. But we get the Council of Kangs. We get what is essentially a teaser for the Loki show. And then we get the Council of Kangs.
I didn't really get that part either.
Yeah, it was hey, tune in
I watched the
Loki
whole show.
Season 2. Stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Cool. Wendy, Council of Kangs. Which of those Kangs were you like? Yes, Daddy. Which one was it? Snake Kang? Did you want a whole ASMR video from Snake Kang?
I enjoyed. I don't know which one was Snake Kang?
I think he was the one with the big headdress thing. It was.
He was the one who had like the big deep voice. He was like.
Yeah, it was basically, hey, Jonathan Majors, do funny voices. That'll be great. That'll get the kids excited.
I think I was just so excited to see the different iterations of them, because I'm not super, I haven't super like done my deep dive into what all the Kangs look like. So it was really interesting to see what that looks like in the MCU. I did notice that when they pan to the multiple Kangs popping into their I guess council meeting was like pretty much I want to say it's like a panel out of the comic book when they were going up against the seats and stuff like that. Elaborating
on that a little bit, because you mentioned that they might, or Roxy mentioned, I think, that they might not know where where we're going with this. Where do you? I'm
gonna get so much heat for that comment.
No, Roxy.
I could be wrong.
To the fact that Kang and the man and the one who remains are supposed to be different Kangs, and yet they had the exact same motivation and goals and actions. I think we've watched these MCU movies since the start. They 100% don't know what they're going. They're just like, here's things. Okay. I agree. I don't know what the internet's gonna say. I agree with you. But Wendy, do you think Kang Dynasty, written by the same writer, do you think it's going to be Avengers versus bunch of Kangs, or do you think it'll somehow this Kang comes back?
Ooh.
Or some other Kang, some other individual Kang?
I don't think this Kang comes back. I think it'll be other Kangs.
Okay.
I think, what is it? There's like Immortus, I think, which is a pretty big one.
Yeah. Do they, I forget, did they mention
that eventually?
Did they mention Immortus by name, or am I just... No, okay.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Who's Immortus?
He's a Kang. He's one of
Kang. Like a variation of Kang.
Yeah, Kang has a bunch of different characters.
Are any of the variations of Kang like straight up hero?
Not. Oh yeah, technically, Iron Lad. Young Avengers has spoilers for Young Avengers from like 20 years ago. The Iron Lad on that team turns out to be a teenage version of Kang before he becomes Kang.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wendy, I know.
There you go.
So Wendy, you're thinking it'll be Avengers versus movie Kangs, mini Kangs.
You're talking about years from now when we get that big ensemble movie again?
Yeah.
I think there will be one main. This is not going to answer your question exactly. Okay. I think there's going to be one main Kang that they do focus on, but I think there will be appearances from like at least one or two other ones. I don't think it's going to be a full Thanos moment.
Yeah. Okay. Roxy, what are your thoughts? What do you think we're going to be seeing in Kang Dynasty? We're going to see a full Kang gang or just one Kang?
We got to be careful with the Kang gang.
Yeah.
Kang, is there going to be, the only question in my mind, is there going to be a Kang gang bang gang? We don't know.
We don't know.
I feel like there's no way that Kang Dynasty is one Kang.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be not a dynasty, right?
Well, a dynasty just, I mean, there's one ruler for a dynasty all the time.
But then isn't then like the next ruler takes over the dynasty?
Good point. Solid point. Got it. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it means that there's gonna be 100 Kangs.
Yeah.
But very likely, I think we'll see like a progression of Kangs in a dynasty.
Gotcha.
That's based on me having no comic book knowledge about Kang and having very little knowledge about the actual dynasty definitions of like what.
Moderately more understanding of the definition of dynasty.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to say 3 to 5 Kangs.
3 to 5. Oh, that's a better way of saying. Okay, so Roxy's 3 to 5 Kangs. Wendy, how many Kangs are we getting in Kang Dynasty? That's a better question.
I'm going to go with 3.
3 Kangs. All right.
3 Kangs.
All right. I feel like I need to go. Wait, is this Price is Right? Should I say 1 Kang? Whoever's closest is the.
No,
go big or go home, DJ.
No. Okay. I think we're going to see. Okay, honestly, if I had to guess, I would imagine we're going to open Kang Dynasty with all these Kangs that we saw in this one, and they're all going to be wiped out by like a core team of Kangs, and maybe that's how the Avengers quote unquote win the day. Is that what that 3 to 5 Kangs you guys are talking about, 3 to 7 or whatever, kind of can't really get on the same page. And so that is as helpful to the Avengers as actually just being stronger than whatever Kang they're fighting, is that the Kangs can't get on the same page. But I think we're going to see a bunch of them, and those are going to be wiped out for whatever reason, and we're going to get down to 1 to like 5.
Every time you guys say okay, I think Kang.
Okay. In the chat.
You're Kang with that?
Kayla Marie asks, what Kang scenes did you like, DJ? Other than the stupid line I mentioned earlier, I did like it when he was confronting Scott and Cassie in the cell, and we showed his abilities. That was a moment of like, oh my God, this guy could curb something. This guy's more powerful than Thanos, until he wasn't. And then I was like, okay, it's once he started kind of losing it and like yelling and stuff, I was like, oh, this guy's not threatening. I'm not intimidated by this guy. I feel like Ant-Man could fight this guy. All right.
Is this a bottom 5 movie for you, DJ, of the MCU?
I think it's better than all 3 of the 4 Thor movies. I think it's better than the second Ant-Man. I still think the first Ant-Man's
I love the first one.
The first Ant-Man, I think, Wendy, I think it's that residual Edgar Wright. I think it's I think maybe the secret sauce to the Ant-Man movies is get Edgar Wright to work on them for half the time and then have somebody else come in and finish it. But I think I thought this was more interesting than the second Ant-Man. I liked the penis buildings that are alive. I really liked.
That was so great. Are your buildings dead?
Yeah.
That was a great line.
And also should have had more of them. I liked David Dastmalchian as Veb, the Goo Boy. I thought Goo Boy was fucking great. The guy they drank so they could understand. It's like, Yeah, he's great. I loved him.
Oh my God. That was such a great arc too. Goo Boy was so bomb. The one character that didn't fully land for me was the like really badass girl that I didn't really understand. Like I wish I heard more from her. Like she was like a warrior badass chick that like every time she was there, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Like, I want to know what core workout she's doing. Her core workout.
Oh my God.
Like, yes, please tell me what you're doing. Also, to that point, the ending relied too much on the cavalry. Like, Ant-Man's like, uh-oh. And then Wasp was up like, I've got your back. And then instantaneously, she's like, oh no, it's too much. And then the rebels come in and you're like, the day is saved. Uh-oh. And then Kang's robot army? What was... Kang's army, whatever the army was made up of. Oh no, it's too much. And then we have the ants. It's like, could have consolidated this. You didn't need 3 cavalries coming in to save the day. It's bad writing. Anyway, sorry everybody. But no, it's not.
You're so hateful towards me today, DJ.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe you're ripping apart this movie that I made.
That you made, Roxy. All right. Those are our thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. They're all across the board. There's something for everybody in this episode. Wendy, for the kids at home, where can they find you? What should they be looking out for besides seeing your reviews on Rotten Tomatoes? That's really cool.
Woo-woo. You can find me on YouTube, just over at the Movie Couple channel, where we do more movie reviews, TV show reactions, and vlogs. We just went to Super Nintendo World, so look out for that coming soon.
Jealous. I'm so jealous. Fun. What's the most recent movie you've watched to review? If not Ant-Man.
I think it actually was Ant-Man. I'm seeing another, well, it's not a movie, it's a series.
Okay.
But I think Creed is next.
Yeah.
Creed 3.
Roxy and I might have questions
for you
about
see it yet?
That.
Not yet.
Okay. No, I've got answers for us, DJ.
Oh, cool. Good. All right. We'll see.
I have no question. I have only real answers.
Only answers.
Yeah. Okay, Roxy, where can people find the stuff that you're working on?
Everywhere at Roxy Stryer. I'm really fucking stoked this week because Always Lola, we just got announced that we sold. We have distribution, which is huge.
So cool.
Shout out to Good Deed Entertainment for buying us. So that means that everybody will be able to see the movie, which is so exciting. The Deadline article that dropped said that will be in August. So I'm going to just take that as when it hopefully will be.
Yeah.
And then I was cast in a new movie this week the announcement was this week called Crust, which is going to be a horror comedy. I'll tell you guys all about it, but just a big, awesome week of things that you can check out on my social.
Good week for Roxy. Please go check all that out. Really exciting stuff. You can find me at DJ Talks Trash. You can find this show everywhere that matters at Only Stupid Answers, but on Twitter.
You got the vowels from stupid.
I want to thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.